Hey guys, I'm here on the Keith Andrew Network show. Such an honor to be on here. I think he's doing such an awesome job, spreading the word on for basically having, no matter who you are, you're able to do whatever you set your mind to, which I think is a great message. And I hope he keeps continuing. It's an awesome show, great to support, and thanks for having me on.
For people who want to know what is the Keith Andrew Network, the whole point of my talk show is to show you that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. To prove them, you can still amount to something. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew. Along here is the talented and beautiful Goshin, as you heard from her recommendation. But if the name is easy, I get to say it. Goshin, is a real honor and privilege having you, and it is an honor for you to be 1064. That's right, here on the Keith Andrew Network, 1064 episodes available. YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, social media. So all you have to do is type in hashtag KeithAndrewNetwork or type in KeithAndrewNetwork and it explodes everywhere. Today, it's a very special episode. I'm a diehard fan of Dragon Ball, so is our beautiful guest. So we're gonna have a Dragon Ball conversation. So let's get started.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm excited.
So I'm gonna ask you some easy questions and some hard-hitting ones. And let's just have fun with it. And you can ask me anything you want as well.
Cool.
First question I want to ask you. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay, so my name is Goshin. I am a Dragon Ball, I would say, content creator, collector, cosplayer. I do a little bit of everything when it comes to Dragon Ball. Been collecting since I was about, I would say, 11 years old. So now I'm 30. It's been a long time, and I've amassed quite a large collection there. And I've been making content on YouTube since 2006, making Dragon Ball content since 2008. And of course, TikTok and Instagram and all of that stuff. Just all Dragon Ball, love it. Huge fan, and yeah, it's an honor. It's great. I love it.
And as we're talking, you gave me pictures. So those pictures will be streaming on the bottom of the screen or in the center of the screen in between us. As we're doing the interview right now, we have a black screen. But if you've seen my interviews, it has like a color background. It's actually came a long way in 10 and a half years. But you mentioned 2006. 2006 is when I actually graduated high school.
Wow.
And 2008 is when I got sick out of my own stupidity, was depressing. But it also gave me a wake-up call saying, you know what, I don't want to work in retail for the rest of my life. Maybe I was using my disability as a crutch, saying I can't do this, I don't have to do that. I call it the boomerang. So I threw it. And I don't have to do this. People hand me things, people feel sorry for me. But when the boomerang comes back and hits you upside the head, obviously you have to catch the boomerang. When the boomerang hits you, you just said, you were telling people for how many years you were disabled, and now you expect them to give it to you. So instead of using it as a crutch, I'm now using it as a strength, something I should have done. Little backstory about me.
Awesome.
But the next one I want to ask you is, when you were in college, what did you major in? Were you a study nerd or party animal?
So I actually was a study nerd for sure. I majored in media studies and film. So since I was a kid, always loved making videos. There you go. And then I went into college knowing that, I really want to focus on content, making videos, making things. My day job is also content creation for somebody else. So just all around love it.
And so that's why you major in. Did you have a BA or a bachelor's?
Yes, I have a bachelor's in film and media and new media and film.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
for me, well, it's kind of like you're on the inside looking out, I'm on the outside looking in. I never got the opportunity to go to college. When I was in high school, I was a part of the audiovisual department. So,
Wow.
there was a guy named Mr. Earl, God bless his soul. I made his hair, he had white hair, but I made it turn whiter faster. That's how effect I have on people. Uh, But I did in radio, I did lights and sounds for the shows. I helped at the coffee house. So, and I talk with my hands, force of habit. I was known as the guy with the camera. You never saw me without the camera because that was my outlet.
Wow.
And I pretty much told myself, June of 2013, I was like, I'm going to show you with a disability. Look at what I'm able to accomplish. And for 10 and a half years, thanks to you, 1,064 episodes. I wish I went to college, but I'm happy that I don't have that college tuition to pay back and hang,
Very true.
and
Very
hang up
true.
hang over my head. But I taught myself at a slow pace the process of how to interview professionally. I didn't want to be seen in the beginning. So from someone who wanted to hide behind the camera to now someone who doesn't shut up, obviously, you see a process of, hey, we may learn at different paces. You can do laps around me, absolutely, and you are beautiful. That's saying,
Thank you.
but I know I'm a bad fart. But you can do laps around me, but it doesn't change the fact we start at the same point. We're both diehard fans. All you have to do is take one step at a time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you got to take one day at a time, learn at your own pace, and you need to build a solid foundation, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I think it's really cool to see that you really put your mind to something and you accomplished it over 1,000 episodes later, which is that's a big feat right there. So that's amazing.
No, absolutely. So the first question I want to ask you now, we got already the big elephant out of the room, pretty much. Like pink elephants are wearing pink, obviously. I know, Dumbo reference. So the first question I want to ask you is, it's funny, you mentioned at the age of 5, you were a Dragon Ball fan. At the age of 5, I was a big World Wrestling Federation fan.
Nice.
So let me ask you, do you like WWF, WWE, and what interests you in Dragon Ball?
Surprisingly, I never got like super into like wrestling or anything. My cousins liked it, but I don't know, I just wasn't exposed to it as much, so I never really watched it. But um, I appreciate the fandom that it has behind it because I know there's dedicated fans out there for wrestling and everything. I see it at conventions when I go. Huge, huge following there. So props to all the wrestling fans out there. And as far as what really, I guess, attracted me to Dragon Ball, what I love about it. Well, at 5 years old, basically the first episode I ever saw was when Yamcha was getting killed by the Cybermen. And that was a pretty intense episode to watch as a 5-year-old, but I was super intrigued and I loved what I was seeing. I was like, I need to see more. I need to watch more. My older sister was watching it, which is how I was able to see it. And then, like, I just tuned in every time I would see it on TV, and I just got me hooked. Just like the action, the battles, um, even like the art style. It was just, anime there wasn't too much anime exposed to us at the time, so it just looked really cool. And I just got hooked from there. And then not it wasn't just all about the action, it was also about each individual character, which one you resonate with the most. For me, it's Goku. And I just love each and every personality, the adventures they go on together and everything. So just love it all.
A lot of people think I'm stupid for this, but a lot of things. Well, let me ask you this: if you could do your life over, would you do your life over knowing everything you know now, or fun fact. Well, question anyway, but let's just say fun fact. It sounds nicer. If you could enter the Dragon Ball world, would you?
I would like to visit for a little bit. I wouldn't like to go permanently because I feel like it would be very stressful all the time because you're always like you'll have moments of peace, but then you'll be in like high stakes, right? With like the next crazy villain. So I don't know about permanently. Definitely visit. I would love to see just how they all like even just to watch them train, to see how they like spar against each other. It would just be an awesome light show. I would love to go and see.
I
Maybe
have
learn how to fly. Maybe learn how to fly too.
or to suit some
Yeah,
energy base.
Kamehameha. Yeah, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, or if I would like to see if I'd be able to actually sit on the Nimbus, and if I'm pure-hearted enough, that'd be good.
Me too. Probably fall on my face, but still. For me, I have it all planned out. Let's see. For an example, I would wish for immortality and
Nice.
not say, oh, he's gotta be a bad guy. The reason I want immortality is the next question I'm gonna ask you. What is the one move that you want to make for yourself? Like, there's so many different techniques, but what is the one technique that's like, you know what? I know if it's just yours, but I'm gonna make it my thing.
Oof. I'm gonna have to go with my favorite move, the Dragon Fist. That is my favorite. I like it's just so awesome. I love it. And I would love to. How would I make it my own though? That's the thing. I got to figure out exactly how I'd make it my own. That's tough.
I was
I
gonna,
think it looks amazing.
absolutely. I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
I was gonna say if you were my soul sister, you were gonna say Kaioken. The reason for the having an immortal body is as you know, obviously, Kaioken is really rough on the body.
Yeah.
So I would ask for an immortal body, one that's strong enough to withstand Kaioken, and I would master it to the fullest. That is my favorite move out of all of it.
Yeah. See, and that's a great choice because I love how you can just kind of keep going with it, like times 10, times 100, like it's just crazy. And Goku still even utilizes the Kaioken as we saw in Super. So, I mean, it's definitely an iconic move. So that's a great choice on your part.
No, absolutely. And anyone who knows his hand gesture, you know, and there's a lot of theories about that. Why does Vegeta? Well, let me get to that. If I could go to Dragon Ball universe, hands down, Bulma would be my mother. Vegeta, tough guys wear pink. Vegeta would be my dad. My wife, I was debating Videl, but I really like Kanoa. I think she's absolutely great. So the Supreme Kai time will be my wife. My masters, Goku, King Kai, Lord Barris, and Elise. So I'm yes, I admit it. I am obsessed with Dragon Ball. So I have it planned out already when I die. If I God don't send me back out, this is what I want. I have plan A, B, and C. If God says not to be religious or anything, if God says can't make that happen, but okay, well, I want to do my life, this life, over knowing everything I know now. I don't want to see what it would be from a different point of view because it's interesting because knowing everything you know now, would you make the same mistakes? Would you not make the same mistakes? What about you? What's your opinion?
As far as like creating
Doing
my own for exactly what exactly?
doing your life over, knowing everything you know now.
Hmm. If the question is would I?
Yes.
I don't honestly probably not. Just because I don't know because like the butterfly effect. You change one thing, it can change your entire life. So I don't know if I'd want that because what if I try to redo something and it ends up being something not the best choice, and then you never know how your life's going to be. So as of right now, the way my life has gone, I think it's pretty good, so I think I would leave it that way. But are there little things that I probably would maybe change if I could? Maybe small things that hopefully it doesn't impact my life in a crazy way, right? If to see how it plays out in the end. But for the most part, I think I'm satisfied with what I've done in life.
For
That's for
me,
sure.
I would have my biggest thing is I talk too much. I have diarrhea in the mouth. I would keep my mouth shut, number one, save my money, bought lottery tickets at a younger age, even though it. Are you a fan of Reaper?
I don't think I've. What is it? A show? I don't think I've
A
ever seen it.
Reaper is how can I explain it? A Reaper is this kid who sells his soul, and he finds out that Ray White, great actor Ray White, who plays the devil, is his father, and it's really good. If I find a clip for it, I can send it to you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it came out in 2006, 2008. But the reason I bring up Reaper is my sister likes to remind me every time I get a lottery ticket. Ray White favorites wine is like, oh, you getting a lottery ticket? Oh, you know what we call a lottery ticket? The idiot tax.
That's good. I mean, honestly, I just thought of while we were speaking, I thought of one thing that I would actually change. I
What's
would
that?
definitely. It would be to buy or get my parents to buy the rare collectibles from Toys R Us back in the day. Like, or back then they weren't rare, but knowing what I know now, I would know that they're rare and I would buy them when they were $10 each, knowing that now they're like worth $500. So I would do that. That's definitely something I would do.
Actually, I want to do something special for you. Let's see if I still have it. Actually, yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah, definitely.
So pretty much I have, let's see. Normally I don't do this, but a while ago, my brother was going through his basement. And long story short, he was giving away some of his toys. There's a lot of them, but I just took this one real fast. I don't want to take up much of your time. And this box was in the basement for 30 years. It's a little banged up. It's, hang on, maybe we can see it. There. Oh,
Oh,
damn it. Damn back. It's
no,
the Mighty
almost.
Morphin Power Rangers War Z. And it's really nice. And I can send you a picture of it. So,
Yeah.
otherwise,
Yeah. Definitely
what's
gonna have to
the
send a picture because it's like it's not catching the figure, but what is it from like the 90s?
oh yeah, it's the original. It's the 94 edition
Nice.
of War Z.
That's
Funny
awesome.
story, I actually got to interview Rob actually before he died. When I first started my
Really.
talk show, he was one of the very few people I got on the show. My very first guest was Barbara Goodson. Oh, and he
Wow.
did the voice of Rita Raposa.
Nice. That's so cool. Yeah, like I've seen that you've gotten to interview a lot of people over the years, so that's really cool. And some very special guests. And I feel like that definitely is one that you cherish. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish he was still alive. I would have
Yeah.
had him autographed it. I
Yeah.
also, let's see who I interviewed. Do you like Power Rangers?
I another one that I never got into, which I probably should have because all my friends like it, but again, I respect it a lot. I got to meet, I think the Black Ranger a few months ago. Um Walter is his name?
Yes.
Yes, he's super cool. I love him. He's awesome. Very nice guy.
I had the pride I set on my brother's hands. He wanted to sell for 200, but I have the Red Dragon. And don't worry, I can take pictures and show you, unless you want to
Yeah.
buy it from me. I have the Red Dragon, and I'm like, oh, well, can I have that box? Because that's with the on the arms and the legs to make the Megazord. What's the point of having the Red Dragon if you're not going to have the four other Zords?
Right.
And so I'm like, all right. And I noticed my other brother. I'm the youngest out of four brothers and one sister.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
But my brother before me, he's like, oh, well, this one's gonna be worth a lot of money. Jason David Frank, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He was as Shawn Michaels was Mr. WrestleMania, even though I don't know this is a catchphrase. Jason David Frank was Mr. Power Rangers because he was the Green Ranger and the
Yeah.
red and the blue. And unfortunately, he committed suicide.
I know. It's
But I
awful.
have his action figure. Box is banged up, but if you're still a diehard fan, you appreciate it. So I
Yeah.
gave him $50. I'm like, okay, I want it.
I mean, that's how it is when it comes to like collectibles, especially like things from like our child, like I guess when we were kids, like in the 90s. Um, things have come back with a resurgence, like, and they're worth so much more than when back in the day when you would see them at Toys R Us and KB Toys. Like, have a lot of those Dragon Ball figures too from back then. That like, when you're a kid, you think it's just okay. I'm gonna play with it, open it, make bring it up, break it, like, and then years later, they're worth a fortune. Like it's happened many times. I have some stuff that's like worth $500 and like I got it for 10. So,
Pokemon
but
cards for that matter.
yeah, like nobody knows it at the time, but there you go. Like it's you got to keep your old stuff sometimes, right?
No, I agree. And I was rough with my toys. I used to bang them together.
Me
I still
too.
have them. The WCW ones, I didn't care for them in the beginning because they're like this, and you couldn't move it because it was made of solid rubber. But they lasted. I got it in 98, so that's 98, '08, so that's 10, 18, 20. So they're like, I suck at math. But the long story short, they're still intact.
Right. And they're like almost like 25 years old at this point. So, yeah, that's great. I mean, I wish I kept my childhood toys, but I sold them when I was a teenager because I needed money for something else. But I do regret selling them because they hold a special place in your heart, even though they're banged up and all this stuff. At least mine were. Still, like I used to have a lot of memories with those. At one point, I actually said it to my followers yesterday when I was on live. I had told them that when I was a kid, some of my action figures were some of my best friends because I would spend hours with them just making my own stories and just, by myself, like in my room and had a great time. So I have a special connection with action figures and things like that.
I still, when you mentioned trying 5 years, I have on my top shelf over there the Godzilla toy from 1995. Of course, it broke,
Wow.
then I had to get a new one in 98. But that's another one too. There's so many things, and I'm 35. I guess we're not gonna act your age, but we're in the same bubble on that. But
Yeah.
there's so many things that stand out, even if it's World Wrestling Federation, WCW, Power Rangers. But let me ask you this. This is a funny question. What is bigger in Japan, Dragon Ball or Godzilla?
Ooh, that's tough, right? Because to this day, they still make Godzilla movies and all that. I think one just came out recently, I think, in Japan.
Oh, minus
Uh,
one.
yeah, yeah, right, exactly. I saw my friend lives in Japan. I saw he was watching it in the theater. So I'm like, they're still making new movies and they have, the statue that or the Godzilla head in Japan. So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. I think as far as oof, that's hard, right? But like Godzilla's been around longer than Dragon Ball, so it's
Now,
tough.
here's a part two to that question. Because that outfit reminds me of Street Fighter. What is more? Well, obviously we agree Dragon Ball. Anything with Dragon Ball. Godzilla. Yes, I love Godzilla, but Bruce Falco's music, I use it for everything. It's absolutely amazing how it really makes everything better. If
Yeah.
you want, I can send you some clips. Made one of, I can't name it, I know the song, but they used Bruce Falco for Star Wars, made it better. They made
Oh,
one for
really?
Lord of the Rings, made it better. I put it towards He-Man. I'm like, why is this better? And then I realized, hey, and then I always saw it, and I was like, I didn't make the connection. No, I'm slow. It's like Funimation. Okay. Oh, Funimation Dragon Ball, He-Man. Funimation. But oh, it's the same company. That's why the music goes so well.
Wow, that's crazy. But you know what? I'm not surprised because you're right. Bruce Faulconer's music does go better with everything. Like, I mean, it made the Dragon Ball battles so much more, so even more epic than what they already were because it's just like it makes the scene so intense. It's like it made me glued to the screen even more. Like without the music, I still don't get me wrong. I still like the Japanese soundtrack. It's great. I listen to it that way as well, but it's just completely different vibes, I think.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. We do a special sit down episode, but and then for that, I want to hear your opinions about it. But wrapping up our interview segment, how can our fans and listeners follow you? I know you mentioned Instagram, TikTok, but are you also on Facebook, LinkedIn?
Yes. So I have basically every social media platform, I think. But yes, YouTube, SSJGOSHIN4, Instagram, SSGOSHIN4, TikTok, SSGOSHIN4, Facebook, SSGOSHIN4 as well. And then I do have X Twitter, which is SSGOSHIN4 there as well. I'm trying to think, am I missing anything else? Yeah, I think those are the majority of the ones that I use. But yeah, you can find me on everything. I even have a Whatnot, guys. If you want to follow me on Whatnot, where I sell collectibles of from my collection, doubles. So you can find me on a lot of places. If you just look up SSJ Goshen 4 on Google, you'll find it.
And don't get mad at me for this one, but do you have an only? I always heard it. I have no idea what the hell it is. Onlyfans.com?
I don't. I've gotten asked if I had one many times, but no, I don't. I don't have a Patreon either, even though I probably should make one, but I don't have one currently.
But if you're interested, maybe we can. I would love to invite you to be part of my brand. If you're interested, we can definitely cross promote. If you're interested, we can do our own Dragon Ball show. Whatever you want to do, I would love to work with you going into the future.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to talk and see what kind of ideas we can collaborate on. That'd be cool.
No, absolutely. Now stay tuned, wrapping up our interview segment. Or when we come back from this commercial break, we're going to do the sit down with Goshen. That's only available on TikTok and LinkedIn and Instagram when we come back.